All right, man, so we're getting together here just to talk about the 12 weeks of men study that we've had in the past with the 33 studies. And we just want to kind of have a little recap together here so that men can kind of understand what we've done. And so as we look at the first one, a man in his design, it talked about being a king, a warrior, a lover, and a friend. So as you think about that, where do you find yourself kind of coming down that, and where did it kind of speak to you during that study?
Being a warrior and being a friend is kind of what stuck out to me, that I need to step up and be there when people need me and to reach out to them, and something I wasn't really good about. But since the study, I've kind of prayed about that a lot more, and I've kind of stepped up a little bit. I've been reaching out to people more and trying to be there for them. And for my family too, to connect with my girls and my wife, and to be the leader of the family that God wants me to be.
Awesome. Yeah. So how did it hit you?
For me, I really related to the lover part, where I really sought after showing compassion and just loving my spouse, my family, my friends. Yeah. But it also opened my eyes to maybe where I was lacking on the other parts, where I put so much energy into loving people that I was failing to be a leader because I didn't want to, lead without love.
Yeah, because we got to fill all four roles. That's our design. So in the next study, it talked about a man in his traps. And so it talked about having a trap of identity, a trap of control, and a trap of comfort, right? And where we fall into those and leads to other issues. So as we talked about those where did you end up feeling like maybe God was kind of pulling at you?
It was actually one that was significance. And my entire youth growing up, all I wanted to do was fit in with whichever group I was with. And so I would chameleon myself into that party of people. And I found myself in conversations where things were said that I knew I should have stood up against as being someone who grew up in church, and I didn't. Or I would find myself, engaging in conversation that I knew was wrong because I wanted to fit in. And I found that it was much more stressful living that way than not living that way, because you're constantly trying to please other people that really don't care if you're pleasing or not.
Yeah, and Christ has given us our significance. We don't have to fear man. We don't have to fear rejection. It's great, yeah. So as we talk those studies, where did you come out on that?
Significance was a big one for me, and comfort also. Significance, I've always had a tendency to worry about what people thought of me, of what I do and what I say, and I know I shouldn't, but it's just kind of how my mind works, and the enemy uses that against me a lot and keeps me from saying some of the stuff I want to say and doing some of the things I want to do, and I overthink conversations I've had, and it really got me to see that and brought it out where I could actually see that was part of my downfall. And so it brought that out to where all I need to worry about is what God thinks of me.
Absolutely.
And and the comfort side of that is when I get too insecure and I think about that stuff, I kind of close off. And now I've been fighting that tendency to not do that anymore either, and kind of just wall myself in, and got to keep those walls down and keep praying about it and let God in and let God handle all that worry. And
He's given us a purpose. That's to challenge us, though, to get out of that comfort zone. Huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So in that event of meeting on the Monday nights and all, and as we come together as men, and we had groups as large as maybe 17 and then as small as 8, but what did you enjoy about just that environment that we have for our men's study?
I really enjoyed that after the videos we got to have a discussion, and we had a time where we could open up and talk about our struggles during that week or whatever was going on that month or whatever. And it really kind of it helped me to get stuff off of my chest and off of my shoulders and let it share with other brothers and hear what they had to say too. I mean, because we're all struggling with something, and it may be the same thing, it may be something different, and just being there for each other, having that bonding as men.
Yeah. So what did you think about that environment?
It's much like a like a men's encounter event where it encourages and promotes building sort of a brotherhood and a camaraderie and a togetherness
Yeah.
in a group of men that you may not have known anything more than their name, and you get to share some really deep, issues with some people. You get to help support and exhort some other people in something that they might be struggling with, and it's really relieving. And it's sort of the ideal of iron sharpening iron, and you're sitting there, you have accountability for each other, and it's just something that is building, and it's encouraging, and you know that you're not alone in a lot of things. You're not the only one thinking that you're thinking.
Yeah.
And the irony is, in the world today, the culture we grew up in, men are supposed to be strong and not supposed to say certain things
Right.
because you're strong. But like I mentioned, the irony is it takes more strength to be vulnerable than to not be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so it really, really does a good thing. Or
And we-
it's good for our hearts for that.
Yeah. We can grow when we're vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at another 6 weeks. So you're looking forward to another one of these studies? Think they'll be good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we are going into this new study, and it's a man and his marriage. I just want to invite you guys to think about signing up for that. It's going to start on February 7th. It'll run for 6 consecutive weeks on Monday nights, 6:30 to 7:30. And it's really going to hone in on God created us to have great marriages. And as men, we dictate so much of how that goes, how it grows. And God's created us to be headship, but to be submitted to His headship, to be lovers, friends. And so it's going to be great. So I want to invite you to do that. See you then.